Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from a throwaway account and there is a trigger warning on it of homophobia, so if you do want to skip the story, please feel free to do so. Timestamps are always down in the description and along the timeline below. Thank you. And it's titled, Am I the Arsehole for Turning My Sister-in-Law Gay? Throwaway, I'll keep this short. I'm a 30 female and lesbian, been out and proud since 05. I've been living with my brother/sister-in-law since the start of 2019, a year before quarantine happened. But this drama stuff blew up within the last couple of weeks. Okay, so I asked to move into bro/sister-in-law's place for a while so I could save up for a nicer place. My apartment was in a shit area and I didn't feel safe. They agreed because they knew how dangerous my place was, and bro thought it would be a good idea for sister-in-law to have someone around while he was gone. For your information, he's a truck driver and is gone for over like a week at a time and had to leave sister-in-law home alone. Alright, well, the house isn't a mansion, but it's roomy enough to where I could have my then friend with benefits over on some nights a week without worrying that I'd be disturbing sister-in-law. Their bedroom is like across the house from my room/guest room, and I asked if it was cool with both beforehand, and they said as long as I and anyone I brought over was quiet and respectful, it'd be okay. So I would regularly bring over friends with benefits/girlfriend if I was dating at the time. But that all stopped once quarantine happened. Well, bro and I still have our jobs. Sister-in-law and I have been hanging out more, since we're pretty much the only company we get. But I noticed she'd been acting odd for a month or so into the quarantine, but I figured it was just cabin fever, jitters, understandable. Then the last few times bro came home, things between him and sister-in-law was a little off. I figured they were having a spat and it didn't involve me. Well, apparently it did, because bro came home a couple of days ago and things were still tense. I didn't even eat dinner with them, I just ate in my room. But after dinner I heard yelling from the other side of the house, but before I could get up to check it out, I heard stomping feet, then bro bust into my room and started cussing me out and saying I ruined his marriage, and sister-in-law was yelling at him to stop it and it wasn't her fault. I'm just so confused. I of course asked what the hell was even happening. I don't think I have enough space to type out the gritty of the convo, but apparently sister-in-law is/was a closeted lesbian, and she came out to bro after dinner. She explained it that seeing me be so happy and out made it hard for her to keep up the lie. I'm still speechless because I had no clue she was anything but straight. I'm not saying gaydar is real, but usually I at least get a vibe. But then bro says I'm an evil arsehole and I turned his wife gay, and how he never should have let me move in. Sister-in-law told him to stop, how she would have come out eventually, with or without me there. I felt really awkward, and bro said I need to be gone by the time he returns from his next trip, which was heartbreaking, because he really looked like he hated my guts. I feel like such an arsehole. Sister-in-law and bro always seemed happy, like the perfect couple. But I called my friend and she said, I'm not the arsehole, I'm just tired and unsure. Am I the arsehole? Commenter says, no one's an arsehole here. You didn't turn her gay, she realized she wasn't straight and she told your bro. If anything, sister-in-law was an arsehole for potentially stringing your bro along if she didn't have feelings for him. But maybe she thought she could, air quotes, cure her gayness. Super unpleasant for all parties involved, but no one is actually really bad here. Opie says sister-in-law said she didn't think she was gay till about 3 years ago. They got married about 7 years previous, and she was too scared to acknowledge it because of the way her shitty parents raised her, on top of the fact that she had been married to my bro for nearly 4 years by then. She said she mostly kept silent because saying anything would have hurt my bro. And despite everything she said, she cares about him a lot. Nick says, I really don't understand how this works, so help me out here. Sister-in-law is an adult woman that married your brother. I presume that she had sexual urges her whole adult life, and those apparently didn't include men. Therefore, at no point did she feel any sexual attraction to your brother. Why did she marry him then in the first place? Opie responded, I had to ask her this because at the end of the day, I don't know what it's like to marry someone you're not attracted to. And she said that she's only recently understood that the strong platonic love she felt for the women friends in her life was actually romantic/sexual attraction. She grew up in a very staunchly religious home with very homophobic parents who condemned everything not traditional/heterosexual. Apparently her mother and father openly hated each other and treated her and her siblings even worse. So she grew up with the mindset that her marriage would follow the same tone. So she dated men, felt nothing for them, and the sex was uneventful, but it was expected. So no red flags there. And when she met my brother, they really hit it off, and she assumed that was her in love. She and my bro had the same hobbies, they liked the same music, and just generally synced up perfectly. She said the bedroom stuff was still uneventful, but again, she had seen the women she grew up around all look unhappy, so that must be normal. She mistook her close platonic love for my brother as romantic love, so they got married. Kedis Belly says, not the arsehole. If anything, your brother is. I understand that he's hurt, but he's taken his hurt as an opportunity to be homophobic. Anyone who's truly an ally wouldn't say that because they understand that turning someone gay is impossible. Even if it's hard, he should have understood that his wife has always been a lesbian and that it would have come out eventually, or she would have lived miserably, and that she's probably still his friend. She did marry him after all. He owes you an apology as far as I'm concerned. Opie says I'm trying to keep that in mind. He's hurting, but he and I will talk when he's back and had time to think. And yes, sister-in-law said she does love him in a way, just not a way he wants, and she wishes she could love him how he wants. She said she married him because she cares about him, and she thought that's just how getting married was supposed to be. Other commenter says not the arsehole, but perhaps you should distance yourself for a bit. He's reacting with anger to this breakup and misdirecting it at you. Hopefully it doesn't take too long for him to see you had nothing to do with it. Opie responds saying, well, I'm in the process of moving out. He made it clear I'm not going to be welcome when he gets home, so hopefully that will help. So it was 2 months after this that Opie adds an edit/update and says, hey guys, sorry for the dead silence. I, moved out. Got my new place and it's pretty nice. It's weird not having anyone here when I get back from work, but I'm sure that's just because I've been living at my bro's place for so long. But I know you all just want to hear about bro/sister-in-law and not my new place. So, bro and sister-in-law are definitely getting divorced. I moved out before he got back, just like he wanted. Before I did though, bro called me and we talked on the phone while he was off the clock. Like a lot of you predicted, he asked if sister-in-law and I slept together at any point. I'm not proud, but I sort of flipped my shit on him for that. He knows my dating history. He knows how I feel about cheaters. I told him it hurt to know that he thinks I'm no better than my cheating ex, that I cared so little about our bro/sis relationship, that I'd actually fuck his wife, who I reiterated that I only see as a sister. But even if I didn't, I'd still never cheat. He broke down, you guys. Full on ugly cried on the phone. It was awkward, but I think he really needed it. He apologized for everything. Going ballistic on me, kicking me out during a pandemic, thinking I'd cheat with anyone, everything. I told him thanks, but I need time to forgive him. The hurt's not going to disappear just because he said sorry, but it helps soothe it. And I said I still love him. He said I didn't have to move out, but I said I was already in the process of getting my new place, so it was fine. I could tell that he felt bad still, but I didn't try to placate him. Some of you said I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't say it's okay because it's not. How he treated me isn't okay. But he told me he and sister-in-law were definitely splitting up. I told him I figured so. What with everything, no counseling can save a marriage when one partner is gay. But I didn't say that. Just that I thought so. He tried to lighten the mood by saying he asked sister-in-law about the cheating thing first and she flipped her shit on him even worse than I did. He said it jokey, but I can tell he was serious. I asked what she said and he sort of sounded awkward but said she told him. I found out I was gay, but that doesn't mean I'm some cheating whore. That's and just how he was gross for thinking she'd screw some kid. Pfft, thanks for that. Let alone her husband's kid's sister. That she's known since said kid was a minor. Also that it was messed up that he just automatically assumed she would hop on the first gay woman in her vicinity when they were still very much married. And it was just all around not received well by sister-in-law, which I can understand. Being accused of cheating by people you love fucking hurts. Last I checked, things were civil between bro and sister-in-law. She moved fully into the other bedroom so she and he could have space, I guess, for when he was home. Sister-in-law is trying to move their divorce along, but from what I've heard, bro is sort of dragging his feet. I don't know what's going on there and I haven't asked. Not my business, to be honest. Our family is disappointed that they're splitting, but with the circumstances, they understand it's necessary. I talk to bro a few times a week. Just text him, but I told him how there's support groups for spouses whose partners came out as gay. They should check them out. It would help him through this. He sounded hesitant but said okay, he'd look into it, so that's good. I don't know if he will, but I hope so. I also pointed sister-in-law in the direction of some threads for people who realized they were gay while in a straight relationship. She was thankful. And that's about it. I still speak to sister-in-law. I feel like shit cutting her off like some people suggested. She's like my big sister. I've known her for years, and aside from she's been nothing but the best wife/sister-in-law ever. So, I don't know. We're all moving forward. Sorry nothing super dramatic happened, but at least it wasn't a sad update. Peace everyone. Thanks for helping me work this crap out. And that was OP's last post on the matter. So now I'm going to turn this one straight to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. From the relationship advice subreddit, and says, my 32 female boyfriend, 36 male, of 8+ years won't marry me. I've been with my boyfriend for 8.5 years, and we've been living together at his apartment for 5 years. Like any long relationship, we've had our ups and downs, but in the last 2 years, everything has been great. I know he is my person, and I am his. He's a great guy, not just to me, but to friends, family, and strangers. Cares a lot about me, shows affection, communicates well, has financially supported me while I finish my degree, and we have a great time together, both on a daily life basis and on special events like travels and all. We pretty much are already living a married life, without kids, but that alone doesn't fulfill my dream of marriage. I want a celebration of our love. I want to share this moment with our friends and family. I want to be a bride and plan this major life event with him, and I have voiced this to him a few times. A few years back, he was unsure of our future together, but we worked on our relationship and are in a great place, so now when I talk about planning a wedding and marriage, he seems to be on board with it. At least he entertains my thoughts, but so far I haven't seen a ring. I've kind of given him 2 ultimatums. I won't invest any money in buying a bigger place together if we're not married. We've been cramped in his bachelor pad for the last 5 years and are getting tired of it. And I won't celebrate double digits of being boyfriend and girlfriend, but even that seems like too long of a stretch now. But honestly, I don't think I have the courage to walk out of an otherwise perfect relationship. So I keep dragging this and building resentment with every anniversary. With every time I see the surprise faces of people who ask how long we've been dating, and with every wedding of people in our circle. I just feel stuck while everyone around us is moving on with their lives. How do I get him to finally propose, or at least admit he won't ever do it, so I can be free of these bad feelings of uncertainty? Edit for clarification, and things have come up in the comments. I'm not from the US, so maybe it's a wedding culture thing there. But where I'm from, we just love a good party. Any party, where the reason for it is to celebrate the love and union of 2 people. It really brings people together in a very unique way. It gets me all emotional, even as just a guest. That's what I love about it and dream of having as a bride. There's nothing to do with having a big fancy event to post on social media and live my Disney princess dreams. Even the ring thing, I was talking about it figuratively. It isn't a tradition for the men to get the fiancé an engagement ring. This just got popular here recently. Usually they both get their wedding bands and wear it on the right hand till the wedding. Legally, I'm sure there are differences between my country and the US, but marriage pretty much affects the same aspects of our lives. Even roommates have contracts, their names on the lease or something. I don't have any legal ties to him right now. I understand some people can live together for many years without it, but for me, this is important to feel secure about our future together. About kids. Since the beginning I knew I didn't want any, and he didn't have a strong opinion about it and was okay with anything I decided. We still talk about having kids to check on each other and see where we're at on this matter. I've been having second thoughts, and he's still on board if I decide I do want to. But that's not the reason I'm upset. I'm not married after 8 years together. I haven't asked him directly if he wants to get married and why recently, so I haven't gotten a straight answer since a few years back when it was a no. I've been just casually touching on the subject to try and get a glimpse of where he's at, and he seems positive, acknowledging that we're in a much better place now that we worked on those issues. So after reading all the comments, and I really wasn't expecting to get, I realized the next logical thing is to have a direct and honest conversation with him. I just need to figure out on how to approach it. We have a big trip coming up next month, so I'll probably wait after that. Thank you all so much for your input and advice. I appreciate all perspectives. I mean, clearly OP's already got the advice that they need in this situation, and that's all there is to it, right? A direct and honest conversation. This is the timeline I'm hoping to get married in. What do you think? But there was a little part of that last line that OP said, we have a big trip coming up next month, and she's waiting after that, and I thought, big trip coming up? They've already been discussing marriage, and he said that they're in a good place already. I thought, could it be? Could it be? Very cheeky if it is. Commenter says, bluntly put, you can't make him do anything. Confront him and have an honest conversation about it. You want marriage, full stop. If he doesn't, then you're better off walking away. Commenter says, exactly. It really comes down to whether both people want the same future. You can't drag someone into marriage. It has to be mutual. Otherwise, resentment just grows. Commenter says, go check out r/waiting to wed. OP says, I never knew of this sub. Seems like I fit right into it. And from a quick glance, I know I've been waiting for longer than most people there. This should be my wake-up call. So it was 2 months later that OP did come in with an update. And they said, I debated posting an update. Because now that everything is resolved, I feel kind of silly about posting in the first place. But maybe this can find someone in a similar situation and help. I should add that I am an overthinker and anxious person, and this is probably why I got here in the first place. After 8+ years of relationship, I started doubting our future only because of the lack of initiative on his part, and it's like all the algorithms decided to feed these feelings with similar stories that didn't end well. So I started overthinking everything and basically ignored all the signs that we were doing great, like his constant reassurance that he loved me and was happy with me, and he'd look at me with mesmerized eyes while just going about our daily life. I felt so loved and cared for, but the lack of proposal had to mean something was wrong, right? A week before our big trip, while introducing the topic of marriage, trying to start a conversation like I was advised here, he was really dismissive, trying to change the subject, and that sent me spiraling down on anxious thoughts. When he realized that hurt me, he immediately backtracked, started apologizing, and said that he was only avoiding the subject because he had something planned and wanted it to be a surprise. When he asked on other occasions months before, he'd confirmed his intentions of marrying me one day, but this time was different. It was enough to lift any doubt I had, and I also didn't want to ruin any surprise, so I dropped the subject. Then, as expected, during our trip in a beautiful place, doing what we loved doing together these past 8 years, he proposed. It was one of those moments that I felt really seen, like everything was thought out to make me happy, without me having to ask for it. He even managed to record it in the most unsuspicious way, so I'll always have something to remember it. So this update is to say that every relationship is different and every life has a different timeline. There isn't any amount of years that automatically tells you the other person doesn't want to get married. Obviously, I'm not saying to ignore any signs, but you have to look inside the relationship rather than compare to others and seek external validation. Even though most comments on the original post went in a different direction, I probably wouldn't have started that conversation with him when I did, and wouldn't have been so relaxed during our trip when he proposed. So I appreciate you guys for that. Commenter says to OP, congratulations. As an older married lady, I live by the rule. While the proposal can be a surprise, the answer should not be. You two should already have hammered out, yes, we love to get married and live in XX and have YYY kids and grow old together doing ZZZ. The time and place of the proposal, that can be a surprise. Under the Eiffel Tower, at Sleeping Beauty's castle in Disney, at the bowling alley where you had your first date, that can be the surprise. But both of you should already know the answer. Carla Fong says, right, after 8 years? I would think so too. And Nige says congratulations. it's great to read some good news on here. I gotta tell you, OP had me on the ropes at the very start of this update. Like, after the first part, I thought there's a proposal coming. But when OP started off with, I debated posting an update, I guess I've just read it so many times and it always has like negative connotations, I guess. For me anyway, because there's usually something negative to follow. But it was nice to see that in the end. And I think it's fair to say that the majority of the comments were positive towards OP. There were some people calling this a shut up ring. Dun dun dun. And other people saying that OP wasn't wrong to question it, 8 years together and almost like strung along in some way, saying, oh yeah, one day I'll propose, one day I'll propose. I mean, we've seen it time and time again in these stories, right? But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, at the very end of the video, there'll be a couple of playlists there that you can click on, and it will automatically scroll through all those videos for you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. I hope. You bloody cheeky so-and-so. Much love.